Okay, this is the fourth video for the first part of chapter 12, in which we are looking at using the chi-square test for the difference between two proportions. We're going to reproduce the frequency table that was shown on page 466. So we can run the chi-square analysis as the book suggests by using two methods. One will be a function built into the add-in, which we call PHStat2, and the other one will come from the data sheet that was supplied by the authors with the text. The file is called chi-square.xls. So first, I've started the table in Excel. We'll start by reproducing the table and then run the PHStat2's function, chi-square function there. This is the add-in. I had to click on PHStat icon, and once it was double-clicked, the add-in tab installed itself in the already open Excel worksheet. So we're going to pretty it up a little bit quickly. Let's merge these cells just for legibility. I'm going to do that. It's important that we see that the table that we'll end up having looks exactly the same as the table on page 466 because it's just easier. Then we'll use it for entering data as the authors suggest. It will be a manual entry on all occasions because it's the way it is. Okay. So this is two by two. 2 and 2 right here. That's a 2 by 2 table. I'm going to put a little color here, some color here. We got this. Let's get total, some other color. And these guys will have a color. Then get hotels. Something like that. A little too much color, but it'll make it easier for us. Let's save it. Okay, now we have this. Let's put it in a clipboard, copy, and then go to add-ins, PHStat, multi-sample tests. We go to chi-square tests. What it's going to do is going to create a new tab, and before doing that, it's going to ask us for some data. First one is level of significance, and we know it's 5%. Number of rows is what we had just discussed. It's 2, right here. Yes and no. That's our 2. Number of columns is also 2. That's our hotels. 1, 2. These 2 hotels. Output options. Let's make sure we distinguish this chi-square from the chi-square that's done for more than 2 hotels. So this is 2 hotels. 2 hotels. Marasculio MySQL procedure we're not going to request this time because in the section of the chapter which discusses chi-square test for the difference between two proportions, this procedure is not used. Let's click OK. And here comes the tab. So it immediately shows the text box. Interestingly, it's not a dialog box as you would expect. Usually it's it's written in VBA, but it simply instructs us to enter manually replacement labels for the row and column variables, as well as the observed frequency counts in a table that starts in row 3. So this is right here. Note that division by 0 error messages will disappear after you enter the observed frequency counts. And then delete me pretty much. Let's hit delete. This box will go away. Okay. So what's going to be done now? We have copied the table on the clipboard. Let's place it somewhere over here. Control V. Doesn't like it. Let's go back. Copy it again. And paste. Okay. Now we see all the data we need and can use them. Let's hit save. Okay, so what we're asking here, what they are asking here, will be the row variable for observed frequencies and row variables for expected frequencies. Okay. C's are for columns, obviously, and R's are for rows. Let's make it slightly bigger, just a little bit. Okay, good. That's good. This is a little more convenient. Zoom level at 115. Okay, row 1 will equal this cell. Row 2 will equal this. For column 2, we'll do the same. Remember, we're doing the observed frequencies right now. Observed. Doing this slowly so it can be clearly visible, and it'll be easier to pause. If you need to pause to reproduce all these steps, slower speed of presentation will allow you to go back easier. Okay, now we're going to look at expected frequencies, and they came up correctly. By the way, if we click on Control and tilde key, that little curvy thing you put in Spanish over N and Niña, so that's the leftmost key in the row for numbers. So we can see the Excel functions used in the design of this sheet. What they're doing here is showing the function chi-NV. That's the level of significance, degrees of freedom. That's what it handles. And chi-dist. That's chi-test, chi-square test statistic. And degrees of freedom. That's what this function handles. Sum is obviously a very familiar function for everybody, and these are just arithmetic operations. Let's go back to the numbers displayed here clearly. So now that we have given it 0.05 level of significance in the beginning of this exercise, and the sheet was able to calculate the expected population proportions and do all the other calculations, come up with the chi-square statistic. We see the verdict here: reject the null hypothesis. So that's exactly what was done here. We have reproduced this table. They also show the functions used in the design of the sheet. We have just done this by using PHStat2 add-on, add-in to Excel. And as I mentioned before, we can also go and use this sheet, which is similar design. This was supplied by the authors of the book. So what we're going to need to do, we have to go to chi-square2p worksheet. I think I already opened it. It's right here, chi-square2p, and they already entered everything here. They've already done this for us, so it's not fun. Let's make sure they don't have anything else there. This is actually a completed exercise. If you simply went here and opened this, yeah, it says it's already open. Let's close it. Minimize it. Okay. So we also have another file here, chi-square worksheets. We'll need it later. But for now, this exercise is over because we have reproduced what we wanted to, which is this screen, which is the result of chi-square test conducted with the use of PHStat2 add-in to Excel. And the rest of this was covered in the previous video. So we're going to start the next video on page 468 right here.